You know what? It's actually a cocktail swizzling for G&T. I don't have gin in here. It's a bit too early for
I
gin.
believe you. No, thousands wouldn't.
Excellent. Wonderful.
Oh, babes, how are you?
Good. I'm very good. Thank you for inviting me to do this. It gives me a reason to put some makeup on, to get dressed.
Absolutely, totally. I mean, yeah, put some makeup on and some earrings and look glamorous because, I mean, let's face it, we've been sitting around in our pajamas. Are you in your, it looks like you're in a dressing room or...
Yeah, this is my sewing room. I've tidied it up and I've hung the fabric up so it looks kind of cheap. I've got on the floor, it's a complete mess.
Oh my gosh, it looks amazing.
Positioned myself so that this is an outfit that I'm working on for the next we're going to be doing a live, actually it's not live streaming, but we're going to stream ourselves playing live. And
cool. Did you make yourself a cup of tea?
I did. I've got a big mug. Yay. Cheers.
Okay, so my first question, so fabulous Morcheeba have achieved cult status. I was reading some of your comments on your YouTube videos, and it's like, man, Skye, you could be a guru. You could just take all these people off to a desert island. I'll tell you what I mean, and you could be like their guru. I'll read some of the comments, like, who needs a life coach when you have Skye and Morcheeba?
Okay, I'll take that.
So many times you have saved my heart from breaking with your wise words. So soft, it becomes a tonic to my soul.
Oh, lovely.
Lovely. And also your music is a blessing to my soul.
That's wonderful. That's very nice.
Yeah. So what I want to know is what is it about Morcheeba and about your music that you think that fans really connect to?
Well, I mean, I do tend to write from the heart, but sometimes not even realizing it, until afterwards. It's like, oh, wow, that song's about that. I didn't, so it just tends to come out what's in. You can't see me pointing to my heart and in here.
Right. Tell us a little bit about the Morcheeba process and how you write together and come up with songs and music.
It's really quite magical how it happens, because it's just, I sometimes don't really know what I'm going to be writing about. Yeah. And then there's other times where it's like, well, I've got a poem that I've written and I'll see if I can make that fit. So it can start, and mostly does start, with Ross, either with a guitar, or he can play, like, he's a multi-instrumentalist. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
He can play lots of instruments, or on the keys, or maybe even like a half-finished backing track. Yeah. And he'll email that to me, and I'll before I've done anything, I'll get my husband Steve, who works all the controls. He will, I says, like, just set it up, put it in record, and I'm just going to sing the first thing that comes. Mm-hmm. And usually it works out that is the melody, and then we'll tweak it. And if Ross isn't really, if he's not feeling it, but I try and first hum a melody to it, and half words will come out. Yeah. And then email that to Ross, and if he likes that, then we start working on lyrics. And I can listen to the melody over and over again. I put it into this little app in my phone that slows it down. Wow. And so I'll hear words, and then those words will turn into lyrics. And
oh yeah, don't drink my tea. Drink my tea.
I even painted my nails. I was like, oh, my hands are going to be on show.
I didn't bother. I was like, oh, I should paint my nails, but I didn't. But I did make you some cake. Look.
Oh, what is it? Wonderful.
It's carrot with some chocolate, and I made some vegan icing for it.
Oh, wonderful. Wow. How did you know?
Now, let's talk about your new album. It's called Blackest Blue.
It is.
There's lots of natural elements in the songs, for example, the sea and the moon. Where did the inspiration come from for the new album?
So the title of Blackest Blue came from the single called The Moon.
Right.
And so The Moon it's actually a cover. So originally by a Croatian artist called Irina Zilic. And she opened for us a couple of times when we toured around Croatia and Europe. And Ross absolutely loved the song. Every time she played it, it's like, that could be a Morcheeba song. He loved like the guitar riff in there. And so he says, like, we're gonna ask her if we can record the song. So we did. And then it was a little bit short, so I wrote a second verse. And then when we were looking for a title for the album, our manager Brendan was like, what about the line Blackest Blue? And it's like, that's perfect.
I have to say, it's magnificent.
Oh, thank you.
Every song is a winner, once again. There's no one, oh, I don't like that.
There you go.
That's the truth. That's no lie. And I wanted to talk about the videos and the concepts for the videos. I won't say what were you guys on? What were you smoking? They're amazing. It's extremely visual, so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, very dreamlike. Were they inspired by dreams? Let's ask that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so the first one is for the first single, Sounds of Blue. So the song is about free diving. We went on a free diving course. A friend of ours runs a place called Apnea in Kotal. And the two of us went on this course, and it just changed everything about how I feel about swimming and in the sea. And I mean, my whole childhood was watching Jaws and being terrified of
I think we were all traumatized by watching Jaws.
The waves awoke emotive emotions whilst resisting this surge to breathe.
I mean, imagine, like, being in Morcheeba, having a song called The Sea, and then actually hardly ever going in it. So this course just changed everything and gave me, like, this confidence to be able to firstly hold my breath, float, and go down under and not be afraid of, like, fishes and what's going to be under there. And so I wrote a poem about that. And that became the song. And then so when it came to writing, shooting the video director, Martin J. Pickering, was like, well, we need to go to Thailand and shoot a video underwater. It's like, well, firstly, we can't travel anywhere. And secondly, I've already shot a video underwater. Yeah. So how about we try and create this watery feel, underwater feel with fabric. And I don't know if you've seen The King and I. You must have seen it. Of course, why am I even asking? Of course you've seen The King and I. And there's a scene where she's doing the play, run, Eliza, run, run. And then she's running across the water, and the Buddha made a miracle. And he turns the water, which is fabric.
Waving fabric around.
Right, exactly. And so I says, let's use fabric to create water, and then to see it all sort of come alive. It was just magical. Have you ever done free diving before?
No. I'm like you, black woman's hair. I'm not getting my hair wet. I do mum's breaststroke, and that's about it.
Exactly. That's how I would swim, like this. Sometimes go into doggy paddle when I start panicking, but trying to sort of do it like that, keep the head and the hair out of the water.
The hair out of it. Now, I want to ask you about something extremely exciting. you've had a huge opportunity lately. You've been singing you've already done it, the theme music for the film Bliss.
I did, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Is that the first time you have done a film soundtrack?
I did it once before for a movie called The Secret of Moonacre.
Right.
And so, gosh, I mean, that's well over sort of 12, 15 years ago, perhaps.
Yeah.
And then they've used our music, you know, in different movies, like, gosh, is it called like Independence Day or one of those Enemy of the State? It's got Will Smith in it, and it's got aliens. And there's a scene where he's walking around a store buying his underwear for his wife, and they play Trigger Hippie in that. Right. And then I think there's one called more recently, which is not that recent, The Other Woman. And I think she turns up to surprise him dressed as a plumber in a sexy outfit, and they're playing a Morcheeba track. But yeah, sorry, I digress.
That's fine.
Bliss, have you watched it? I don't know if you've seen it yet.
No, we haven't seen it, but now that you're in it, I think we have to watch it. Selma Hayek and Owen Wilson, is that right?
Yeah. But then just back to the song. So the song's called You and I. Yeah. So that was written by a producer, songwriter called Will Bates. Yeah. And so he's originally from the UK. His dad's Ralph Bates, that you'll probably know from the Hammer House of Horror and and Dear John. I don't know if you ever watched that program in the UK in the 80s, I guess. And his mum, Virginia Bates, fashionista, and she was in Clockwork Orange, actually. Right. So a little bit of tidbit info.
Nice bit of trivia.
And so he wrote that song, and it was just for the end of the movie, for the end credits. And then the director absolutely loved it. And he's like, I'm going to rewrite the part of the movie and have it in the middle of the movie. So you hear it, you know, twice, type thing. So.
I want to ask about your clothing. Is it true you make all your own garments? Your dad?
Yeah, well, for the stage, I do. I've been trying. I mean, every now and then I get given something, and you know, which is really cool. But mostly, I like to make my own outfits, so I know that nobody else has got the same outfit. I studied fashion in my 20s. That's where I met your sister. Julie, aye. But I didn't really go on to really to have a career in fashion. So to be able to sort of all of that I learned, to be able to use it now it's just brilliant.
And it's amazing. I mean, your garments are utterly fantastic, spectacular.
Swigamity.
Now, I like this question. You've been in the industry and at the top of your game for many years. Morcheeba are one of the most iconic bands, not just in the UK, but in the world. When you was a little gal and first starting out, did you have any idea how huge you'd be? I mean, can I tell you something? When I was singing at that age, at your age, because we're singing around about the same age, I was happy to get on stage for free shandy and a scampi and chips basket.
Yes.
Did you have any expectations?
Not at all. I mean, you know, so I just the other day I was searching through and looking at some footage of when I used to sing backing vocals in this funk band. Funk, and they were called Flytrap, and it was really good fun. Like, so it started off as, well, I went to this singing group. I lived in Stratford in East London, and I went to this singing group at the Tom Allen Centre to make friends. And I met this girl, Anna, I believe her name was, and she's like, my friends are looking for a backing singer. I think you'd really get on well with them. So joined their group. But I didn't really know that I could make a career out of singing. I was still quite shy, and certainly not as a front person. I mean, it suited me being in the background. But it wasn't really until I met Paul and Ross and met them at a party, thanks to me Julie.
Me Julie's in it again.
She told me, you know what? So what happened was she said, like, this guy, he's like a delivery guy, and he's invited me to this party in Greenwich. I don't know him that well, and I don't want to be stuck with this guy that I don't know. So, make sure you've got to come with me and get there early, so I'm not there by myself. So I get to this place. She gives me the address. It's a house party in Greenwich. I get there at 11 o'clock, and me Julie doesn't turn up until midnight. So I'm at this house party by myself, and there's only two other people there, which was Ross and this guy Justin. And I got Ross's number because I used to play drums very badly, and I was trying to sell him my drum kit. And I got Justin's number, and we started dating. As you do. And Justin told Ross, Skye can sing, and because they were looking for a singer, and that's how it happened, how it started really. But it's like, they're like, don't worry, we're not going to go on tour, we're just going to be a studio band. They lied.
Exactly. The rest is history, a big history.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, amazing. And I have one last question. What would you tell younger Skye now? What would you tell your younger self?
Oh, gosh. What would I tell my younger self? Don't have to get your tits out. How about that? Don't straighten your hair. And leaving the relaxer on for so long that it's burning and you come out with scabs. And so it's like, don't straighten your hair, and don't try and bleach it after you've straightened your hair, because it will fall out. In interviews, probably you don't have to answer everything. It's just kind of, and if it's uncomfortable, then just say, I'm not comfortable with that question, that type of stuff. So many times you get caught on the spot, and they've got an ulterior motive, and it's sort of they're trying to make you feel bad about, oh, well, you're just the singer then, so what do you do? It's like, oh, I just sit here and look pretty, type thing.
Wow.
But so that's a good question. I don't know if I've answered it very well. Oh dear. I've done pretty well. I mean, there was one moment in now everyone's going to go and search for it now, but in the Be Yourself video, in this music video, it was shot in Mexico, and there was all of these petals and these dancers, and they're like, there was this huge, like, life-size turntable, and it's like, wouldn't it be fun if Skye was lying on this, nude with on a bed of petals? It's like, I'm not doing it. It's like, go on, do it. It'll only be in for a couple of seconds. Do it. So eventually, after a bit of booze and peer pressure, I did it. But I'm kind of like holding myself like that. Yeah. So that's probably about as exposed as you'll see me. But I've got 2 daughters, and I've always just been conscious about that. It's nice to look sexy and sassy, and you can décolletage.
Yeah, a bit of
not too much.
Exactly. But at the same time, you want to be a role model, and excellent.
Good.
Yeah, I love that song. I don't even know what it's called, but the one where